Can you see the slide?
Can
Okay. Right. Okay, this is a law of hire purchase part 3. Okay. So yeah. So part 3 basically cover the repossession of goods by the owner, right? Who's the owner? Remember, the bank, the financial, okay? Section 16 of Hire Purchase Act provides that the owner has the right to repossess the goods. So the bank, they have the right to repossess. When can they exercise their right? Number 1, when you, the customer, default in making payment for 2 consecutive months, which means that January, February did not pay. Or default in making the last payment, which means that this is December, you fail to pay for November. Okay? So they have the right to repossess the goods, your car, your motorbike, you know. So if the hirer failed to observe the procedure, so the owner can exercise their rights. That is to repossess the goods. Okay, here. However, it's not easy for them to repossess the goods. They have to follow few procedures. Okay. Under Hire Purchase Act, under 4th schedule, the hirer have to serve 4th schedule notice. Okay, as provided by section 16, subsection 1. So I want you later on go to section 16, subsection 1 and read it, and then find in the act 4th schedule notice. Okay, this fourth schedule notice must be served to the hirer. Okay, this is number 1. Number 2, the owner also must serve notice under Rule 3 of the Hire Purchase in bracket recovery of possession and maintenance of records by owners close bracket regulation 1960 76. So this is notice under Rule 3. And they also have to make sure they comply with this number 1 and number 2. So if they comply, then they follow the procedure, they can have valid repossession of the goods. If they do not comply, that what we call as non-compliance, okay, then their repossession is not, their act of repossession is not valid. And as for you, the customer, the hirer, the moment you got the notice, if you pay, then they cannot repossess, no problem, which means that you comply. So no issue. But if you got the 4th schedule notice, and then you later on, you got this notice under Rule 3, still you did not pay. And it's not just you don't pay, you don't bother to go to bank and then tell them what's your problem, what's the issue. You do not negotiate with them. That is what we call as non-compliance. So your non-compliance will give the owner the rights, full right to repossess the goods. Okay. So here, look, first they have to send 4th schedule notice. Second, after 14 days, they need to send another notice, that is Rule 3 notice. So I make an example here for you to see, right? If the 4th schedule notice sent on 1st of June 2020, okay, they cannot immediately after that issue Rule 3 notice. They have to wait 14 days. So 14 days after 1st June, the earliest is 15 June. Okay, that is 14 days. If the owner did not follow this rule, as I said earlier, that is their non-compliance of the law. So the repossession is not valid. Okay, what happened if the repossession is not valid? You as the customer, when you see the repossession is not valid, you can sue them and ask for damages. Okay. So procedure prior to repossession, number 1, service of forced schedule notice. Remember this. Forced schedule notice, after 14 days, rule 3 notice. Okay? Notice period must not be less than 21 days after the service of the said notice. Okay, serve 1st June. They can only repossess after 21 days or more. Okay, so you can add here, for schedule notice, they have to wait for 41 days. So you can add here, actually you can add here, they can only repossess on 22nd June. Repossession can take place on 22nd June. Because the law say that you send forth schedule notice, you wait 21 days. Okay? However, this for schedule notice, there are certain exceptions, which means that there are certain situations where the owner does not have to send for schedule notice. What kind of situation? What situation? Okay. Look at this case law. Okay. The exception. Okay, exception is not here. This is case law. Right? Exception is here. The exception is under section 16, subsection 2. It says that you do not have, the owner, the bank, they don't have to serve the notice if they believe the customer will remove the goods to another place which is unknown so that they cannot repossess. So if they think that they will issue you notice and then you will run away with the car, so they don't have to serve you this notice, but they must have good grounds. It's not simply like they say, we believe. No, they have to prove this. Okay? So that is the exception, right? Okay. I want to go to case law here. Pang Brothers Motors Sdn Bhd. In this case, right, what happened was the owner repossessed the car from the customer, but then the notice served 2 days less. It's not 21 days as the period mentioned in 16 subsection 1. Okay, so the customer did not agree with this. The customer defend themselves and say that the notice is not 21 days. The notice is only 19 days. And the court held that the notice does not follow the law. So the repossession was not valid. It was invalid. Okay, listen. Why is this thing matters? Why is this issue important? You see, if the bank repossess the car, you as the customer, it's not like they go there and then take the car, take the key, and then after that you pay, they give you the car and they give you the key. No. They go and their agent will go there and then you don't know from somewhere, sometime in shopping complex, whatever, they go and take the car. They go and put at the depot, put there, and there are so many paperwork that you have to sign before you can get back your car. And all the cost is on you. The customer has to pay all the costs. All the costs, all. Incidental costs to the repossession must be borne by the customer, the hirer. Okay, that's why it is an issue. So in this case, the court said that the repossession was invalid. When it is invalid, it means that every single cost, must be borne by the financier, this Pang Brothers Motors, or the owner. Okay, not the customer. That's why it matters. That's why people fight in court. Who wants to pay extra payment? Okay. We have United Manufacturers Sdn Bhd and Sulaiman bin Ahmad. Okay, in this case, this is interesting case, The owner, this United Manufacturers Sdn Bhd, or the financial here, okay, they issue forced schedule notice under section 16, subsection 1, right? and then they did not repossess the car. After 2 years, they go and repossess the car. So the customer, the hirer said, come on, you did not issue us the 4th schedule notice. What does the owner say? No, we did. 2 years back, we issued already. So they have fight. They go to court. And the court say, yes, they are right. Because in the act, it says that the owner must issue 4th schedule notice. But the law never say the due date of the notice. It doesn't mention. It doesn't say after 14 days, the notice is lapsed. No, it doesn't mention at all. So even after 2 years, when they want to repossess, they did not issue new 4th schedule notice. It is valid repossession. You know, it is valid. Wow. Right? So the court held that the HPA, the law, did not specify any time limit within which owner must repossess good after the service of the notice. So it is valid. Interesting. Okay. This case, PP and Muhammad Noor, 1988. This is supposed to be, you know, public prosecutor. PP is public prosecutor, pendakwa raya. From civil case, it become criminal case. You know what happened? This guy, he purchased car. He took loan from KUBB. This is old case, 1988. You don't know what is KUBB. It's a financial, right? And this financial, they did not issue 4th schedule notice. Okay? They just send their agent to repossess the car from the hirer. Okay? So the agent go to the house of the customer, the hirer, and said that, look, I'm the agent of KUBB. You did not pay. Give us the car. Surrender the car. The agent introduced himself, tell the customer his intention to repossess, but the customer, you know, the customer forced him to leave. And what the customer did, the customer was holding sword and weapon in his hand. Okay, the customer act like a samurai and say that you go away, don't take my car, I have the blah, blah, blah. So the agent go and report the police, make a police report. The police came, you know, then it become a criminal case. You cannot do this, yeah? It's supposed to be, you know, repossession of car without notice. And in fact, under civil case, if the customer did not hold weapon, whatever, you know, that repossession is invalid because KUBB did not follow the law. They did not issue 4th schedule notice. So it is invalid. They cannot take his car. But since he's holding sword, whatever weapon, it become a criminal case. For no reason, he has to stay in the lockup. So this is the exception. Okay. I think I put the exception here lah. Okay, so now. Procedure prior to repossession. Okay. First, 4th schedule notice, if you remember. Then rule 3. Okay. If you look at your HPA at the back, there is this regulation. Okay. Rule 3 of the hire purchase, recovery and possession and maintenance of record by owner, regulation 1976. It attached together. If it's not attached together, you can find it online. Okay. So they have to serve this notice 3 after 14 days of the service of 4th schedule notice. See, it's here. Okay. Oh, what's happening? See, after 14 days, rule 3 notice. Okay. Oh, well, one moment. My finger is faster. I cannot think. Suddenly I see. Right? So why you need this rule 3 notice for what? This rule 3 notice shows the intention of the owner to possess the goods. Right? So if they fail, it is an offense under rule 9. So rule 9 say that if the bank, the owner, the financial fail to issue rule 3 notice, it is an offense, right? And the law say that they have to send all this notice to the hirer, not a guarantor, okay? This is also the decision in the case of RHB Bank Berhad and Hassan bin Mawi, where the court decided that it is not a requirement under the law to serve to the guarantor. Okay. Now we go to number 3. Compliant or non-compliance by hirer. Okay. If you voluntarily surrender within 21 days, then you will not be liable for the cost of repossession. I tell you already. Cost incidental in repossession and cost of storage. Storage cost also, the depot you have to pay. Okay. This is during repossession. What happened? You know, the person, the agent, they must show the document acknowledging the receipt of the goods. Okay. Personal service of document. After the owner repossess the good, they must prepare a short description of the goods. Then the car, color, chassis number, date repossession, place of repossession. If there is any dented or whatever, they're supposed to actually mention everything. And then rule 4 of regulation says that if the owner repossess personally, they must produce ID, provide name, address of the company and each, which means that if the agent of the bank or financial, when they want to go and repossess, they must show, okay, look, I am this agent of this. I come to repossess because you failed to pay for 3 consecutive months, blah, blah, blah. They have to show authority card. Okay. Procedure after repossession. We have just 7. Bear with me. Okay. You know, the moment they got the car from the customer, the bank, the owner, or the financial, they must issue 5th schedule notice. For what? Why? Because they want to tell that, they want to inform that what are the customer or hire or guarantor rights after repossession. They will issue the notice and tell, okay, we repossess your car. These are your rights. Okay. Section 18, subsection 1, subsection A, subsection I. Recovery of goods. Within 21 days, hirer may request in writing to redeliver the goods upon payment of the amount due and cost and expenses, which means that if they come and repossess your car and then you paid everything, you can tell them, okay, I want my car back. You can do that after you pay everything, right? And section 70 says that the owner cannot sell or dispose the car until 21 day lapse, until the 5th schedule notice lapse, unless they got the consent from the customer. So it's like this. They repossess a car, Mercedes, with good number, right? And then one guy is looking for that car for feng shui or whatever, you know. And then they say that, okay, bank, I want to buy this car. Bank want to sell within, 21 days is not lapsed yet. Not lapsed yet, okay? So if the bank want to sell to the new buyer, the bank must tell the customer or the hirer, look, someone want to buy the car. Are you consent to this? All right, they must get the consent. Section 18(1)(a)(2). Okay. If the bank repossess the car, the customer, they can introduce someone to buy the car from the bank. Okay. Like you love the car so much, you cannot suddenly you cannot pay and then the bank repossess. You ask your brother, please buy my car, and your brother want to buy. Go to the bank and tell, look, this guy going to buy the car, right? And if the value exceed, they give you the different. Section 18B, section 4A. If the, however, if it's not sufficient, then you have to pay. Section 18(4)(a). If the bank want to sell the good at public auction, right? They want to auction off at public auction. They must give the owner or the hirer notice. Look, we are going to auction off your car at public auction. Okay. Before they do that, they must give the hirer option to purchase the car at the price less than the owner estimated value for public auction. This is provided by section 14(4)(b). So here, malu berkayuh, perahu hanyut, malu bertanya, sesat jalan. So sekarang, ada soalan tak? Do you have any question?
Doktor, for
Yep.
the exception ada case law dia tak?
Exception yang mana?